today is International Day of Forests. Today and around the world, there's commemoration taking place under the theme Forest and Innovation, New Solutions for a Better World. In Ghana, management of our forest resources has been one of the biggest issues for government, academia, civil society groups, and the everyday Ghanaian because of the importance of forests to our survival as a people. To help protect the forest, there have been several demands on government by the civil society groups, Tropenbos. Now, it is asking government to do certain things, and very soon we'll have some of the things that they are demanding government to do on your screens as we engage them more. And this is exactly what they're asking government to do. Government, as a matter of urgency, should listen and adhere to calls for the repeal of the Environmental Protection Regulation, that's LI 2462. The LI in its current form and intent means no forest reserve in Ghana is exempted from mining if deemed to be in the interest of the state as determined by the president. Now, this implies that even Ghana's most sensitive forest areas protected by acts of parliament and international conventions that Ghana has signed on to can no longer be deemed secured as such counterproductive to innovative solutions to manage such areas. Now, Tropenbos is also demanding the immediate reversal of the directive from the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo to the Forestry Commission to grant permits to timber harvesting companies to log in global significant biodiversity areas. So what exactly and how exactly are they hoping to get their voices heard? Let's have a conversation on this. Joining us now is Project Manager Tropenbos Ghana, Boachi Chumasi Ankra, and he joins me via Zoom. Mr. Ankra, we celebrate Forest Day around the world. In Ghana, the issue of illegal mining, the existence of it means that we need to do more to protect our forests. From where you sit, and as a watcher of this industry, are our forests safe as we celebrate the day? Mr. Chumasi, if you can unmute for me. Well, we don't seem to have him. We don't seem to have him yet. When we do, we'll bring him on. We are talking about the International Forest Day, which is today. And Ghana, the issue of illegal mining continues to be the main concern for a lot of people who are concerned about the manner in which we are witnessing the depletion of our forest. So, Mr. Chumasi, welcome to the Pulse, and it's good to have you as we celebrate International Forest Day. And you've made some demands on government. But before we talk about the demands, I mean, as a watcher of this industry, you look at our forests, you observe it. Are we in danger, or you say that, I mean, because of government intervention, we've done some kind of work to protect the forest reserve? First, let's talk about the state of our forests.
All right, thank you for your question. I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sure. So I think that we are not in the best of states if we are talking about our forest because of certain actions that are happening. One key of it is what you have mentioned, the illegal mining, which is commonly called galamsey. Government has done some things or taken certain actions, but the actions are not enough because we see day in and day out that our forests keep going and being destroyed, even though governments have indicated certain actions that are being done. So for me, I think what needs to be done, and if just what we have done and what we are doing is to be the case, then actually in a few years we will lose all the forest that we have in Ghana now.
But again, you know very well that we cannot do away with the forest as well because of its natural resources potential and the fact that it is a revenue drive for the nation, gold, timber, and other resources. So how do we strike a fine balance between protecting the forest and also exploiting it for national gain?
Okay, thank you very much. From time immemorial, from the time that we have had the forest in Ghana, we have extracted minerals and have extracted timber, but in our current arrangement, it is very destructive. Certain things that are happening now are very destructive. Now, let me say that we are not against mining, for instance, but we are against mining which doesn't show responsibility to environmental already we extract timber. There is what we call sustainable timber harvesting, which which is being done by the Forestry Commission. So that is fine. But when we come to gold mining and other minerals mining, where they are supposed to be undertaken in forest reserves, the administrative arrangement that has been in existence was that these would be undertaken in areas we call production forest reserves, and that these are reserves that are already given out or are already subject to production in terms of timber harvesting. And so if you are going to do other extractive activities there, then there is no much, or in terms of damage to ecological system, it is really minimal. But here is the case that we are actually veering off into areas which are ecologically sensitive, which we call globally significant biodiversity areas, which is very dangerous because we knew, and the country knew, that these areas are ecologically sensitive, and that's why by arrangement we have decided to protect these areas from every form of extraction, whether timber harvesting or minerals extraction. And so there is no reason or excuse for government to now turn around and give these areas and subject them to timber harvesting and then gold extraction. And that is why we think that the current arrangement that the government is putting up, especially embedded in Environmental Protection Regulation LI 2262, is very it's not respecting the tenets of environmental protection and sustainability.
And you want the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, you want some kind of a hold put on him in terms of his powers to grant license for timber felling in some of our forest reserves?
Yes, already there are places that are that forest timber harvesting is allowed. But here is the case that the minister had, in his letter that we cited, has cited certain reasons, including the fact that a particular company is employing a number of people and all that, and giving instruction to the Forestry Commission to actually go ahead and allow a particular company the harvesting right in globally significant biodiversity area. And so in order to pay themselves of the guilt, would rather reclassify or declassify the area as globally significant biodiversity area. And so that is why we're saying that, yes, it could be other places, production forest reserve, but for a globally significant biodiversity area, which all Ghanaians have decided to reserve and protect because of their ecological sensitivity, it is very bad and against the tenets of sustainability and conservation for a government or the minister to allow and to instruct the Forestry Commission to give harvesting rights to a particular company, which is not acceptable. And in any case, let me mention that even if the place was okay for harvesting, there is a process that a competitive bidding process that the whole procedure should have been taken through, which wasn't done. But this one is just by an administrative letter being instructing the Forestry Commission to take such an action.
But Mr. Chumasi, you've been following the story of the rosewood and the fact that even though it's banned, I mean, there's been several reports suggesting that people still are harvesting it and exporting it as well. So beyond the laws that protect our forests, I think the issue here is about enforcement of these bylaws. Where are we getting it wrong?
I think that you are right, but that we have the laws, and sometimes it's the lapses in terms of enforcement. I think that we are getting it wrong in terms of regulation. The institutions that have been mandated to regulate the harvesting, to manage the forest, I think that there are some weaknesses that is allowing the leakage of these actions. Sometimes there are deliberate actions by certain entities in these institutions, and I think that when communities, when civil society, when citizens raise alarms and raise red flags about some of these actions and report them, I think that the institution responsible for protection of our forests should take action and not really be just lay back about the whole thing, because it also discourages citizens from supporting forest protection. So I think that what is wrong basically is about the fact that the regulator is actually not doing so much to protect the forest, and especially in the rosewood situation. Let's consider this, that rosewood is not really abundant at the port areas. So mostly are found at the northern side and northern parts of Ghana. So consider the kind of security checks that are on our way, that these goods are passed through to the port and still get exported, even though there is a ban. That means that there are institutions that are complicit in these actions.
I mean, before I let you go briefly, of course, as we talk about timber, there's also the other issue of mining, also in some of these forest reserves. I mean, licenses continue to be granted for people to undertake exploration and other things, and sometimes they go beyond the mandate given them by these licenses. Away from timber, and let's talk about gold. Very crucial resources for the country as well. As we celebrate this day, there have been several interventions to deal with illegal mining. It is still ongoing. Somebody has described the Western region as the capital of illegal mining. As we observe this day, what do you suggest as we can do more to protect our forest cover from illegal mining, especially?
Thank you very much. I think that these forests are under the care of certain institutions in Ghana. And what I would say is that I will urge them to be really resolute and strict in their monitoring actions of these forest reserves. At the national level or at the policy level, I would suggest that, and I would call on government to actually have a strict arrangement and follow the arrangement to permit mining only to production forest reserves and not all forest reserves. And so, in that sense, we would minimize the destruction that we are actually causing to our forests. And that saying that, it means that I'm talking about the legal mining. But for illegal mining, I think that it is no in our forest reserve and no other place, whether for rivers or any place.
All right.
And they should take charge of the situation and stop it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chumasi, for your time this afternoon.